Alright lads, Canelo Alvarez is after giving an interview to Ring Magazine on the possibility of him fighting Triple G for a third time. Alright, I'm going to quote Canelo Alvarez here verbatim. Canelo Alvarez said, "I don't have anything to prove to anyone. I did my job by beating him twice. Well, the first one, the second time I thought he did. The first one, I feel like I'm at my peak. If it happened a third time, I feel so good that I could most likely knock him out and do some serious damage." Those are the words of Canelo. Now, seems likely to me, right, that Canelo is going to be out there probably in March, maybe even February, fighting Yildirim. I've said it before, I see that fight straightforward. Yildirim, big target, defensively he's poor, punch resistance is a bit questionable. Is he coming off a loss? I think he is. This is a guy who went the distance with Alenga Mock in a close fight. Alenga Mock, lads. In the early 2000s, he was dropping David Haye at cruiserweight. Avni Yildirim is going. Now, Alenga Mock is tough, but still. This is the mandatory for Canelo. Yeah, that's not going to last long. After that, right, we need to see. There's been the possibility of him having a 2-fight working deal with Eddie Hearn, not promoted by Eddie Hearn, just working with him and DAZN. Now, Billy Joe Saunders, the name we're mentioning, but we know that Triple G works with DAZN and Eddie Hearn as well. Could we see a third fight between these guys? Maybe in the month of May. That first fight, I was so hyped for. Even the second fight I was hyped for. Not as much as the first, but the second fight was nearly better, I thought. I've seen it twice. Yes, Triple G looked good in his last fight. He wasn't in there with much. I don't have to, you could say it's disrespect, but it's a fact. A guy he fought was not particularly good. At world level, Triple G is still good. He still has it. But at elite level, like, would you pick Triple G over Charlo? I'd hesitate. Would you pick him over Demetrius Andre? I probably would, to be fair. Pick Triple G over Demetrius Andre, yeah. But Canelo, now, and that'd probably be a super middleweight. But in fact, it would definitely be a super middleweight because Canelo's vacated his middleweight titles. So that would definitely be a super middleweight. Right now, I don't think Canelo would stop him. Alright, I think Triple G is tough enough to go the distance. Although I wouldn't rule out Canelo stopping Triple G. Especially if we saw how Triple G was hurt to the body against Derevchenko. Canelo, a wicked combination puncher, wicked body puncher. Canelo really focused in on the body. I think he could. But I've seen that fight twice. I believe Canelo would win that fight. Again, probably on points. I'd probably deservedly. Like, the first fight was a draw. I didn't have an issue with the draw necessarily. If anyone deserved to win, I would have edged the Triple G if I had to give a winner. The second fight, I thought Canelo won. It was close. It was very close. But I thought he nicked it. I remember I had a 5-7. Alright, that was what I had at the time, and when I rewatched it, I still had a 5-7. So second fight, I'll give that to Canelo. Third fight, I think Canelo will win it again, but I think he'd win it decisively this time. As in, there wouldn't... If you heard a scorecard like 170, 111, you probably wouldn't even question it. That kind of way. So, like I said, I've seen it before. I've seen it twice now. I wouldn't mind seeing Canelo versus Billy Joe. Although I would pick Canelo to win that fight as well. I think stylistically Billy Joe can cause some problems. Cause a good few problems for Canelo Alvarez early on. Biggest issue I see for Billy Joe is his lack of foot speed at 168. And I'm telling you now, look at Billy Joe in the ring against Martin Murray and compare his foot speed to how he was against Lemieux. Lemieux, a much flat-footed fighter, much more off-balance fighter, much more plodding fighter. I will give you that, yes. But the eye test alone, you can see that there's that little bit of lack of spring in Billy Joe's step at 168. He's carrying too much weight. I think that could be an issue for Billy Joe, especially late on, especially if he starts taking body shots. Serious body shots from Canelo. I can see that being an issue. Canelo's head movement is that good. I mean, look at Danny Jacobs. You have a tall, athletic guy like Jacobs. Couldn't land a jab on Canelo. So I would pick Canelo over Billy Joe, but I want to see how that fight looks early on. With Triple G, I've seen it twice. I just feel like I know what I'm going to get with that fight, if you know what I mean. So, look, we'll wait and see. But Canelo versus Triple G, I wouldn't rule it out for next year, truth be told. because next year it's 2021. What am I talking about? It's 2021 now. I wouldn't rule it out for this year, but we're looking at possibly 3 fights for Canelo. I reckon if we see Triple G versus Canelo 3, we're going to see it probably September time. Rather, I think in my mind, what the plan for Canelo is Yildirim, Billy Joe, and Triple G. That's what I'm thinking 2021 is looking like for Alvarez. Could be wrong, because God knows. But that's what I'm thinking it's looking like. In terms of Triple G, I've seen it twice. It's still that's the fight DAZN want. DAZN have wanted that fight ever since they signed Canelo. Back in 2018, it was like Triple G or bust. It was like Triple G or bust. Fight I would love to see for Triple G though, and I think this could be an absolute fan friendly fight. Will be Triple G versus Munguia. Maybe we could have got that fight nearly 3 years ago now, and was it one of the sanction bodies? I think the WBA wouldn't sanction it. Man, I think that could be a barn burner. That could be a great fight. Canelo versus Triple G. I'm gonna watch it definitely, especially if it's on DAZN because I pay my subscription, which is good. DAZN is good actually. I'll give him that. Commentary could be a bit better, but DAZN actual app, I have no problem, no complaints. £2 a month, it's no complaints. But yeah, Triple G Canelo. Let me know your thoughts. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you did. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. I hope y'all keeping well, doing well, enjoying the new year. Hashtag GMansRocks in the comments section. You got to get that in there, lads. I'll talk to you. Peace.